At this point in time, we'd look to invite our virtual guests, the review of the program, Patriot Desmond Fowobi, who joins us virtually to be a part of this discuss. Hello, good morning to you, Patriot Desmond, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen. I was part of the conversation, and I was just, amazed with some of the realities and some of the things that been happening in the recent time in River State and your analysis. Good to be with you guys this morning.
Well, good to be with you too, Patriot Desmond, as usual. You are in Akure, Ondo State. I would always say that you are a true patriotic Nigerian, always crisscrossing the country.
Now, Patriot Desmond,
Yeah.
before we move on to the next issue, Chijioke shared some strong views on the position of Madam and Briggs, who appeared in a live TV interview and said that Rivers people have the right to know. Now, Chijioke is of the opinion that the details of whatever was agreed in the villa shouldn't be put out in public. We saw how the first one went with the peace pact that was made open, the conditions and the signatures appended to it, which didn't hold up until the 6-month suspension. It's the same question I'll throw to you this morning. Do Rivers people have a right to know, as advocated by rights activist Briggs, or should it be kept in secrecy to sustain whatever peace has now been enjoyed and has returned to the state?
Sincerely, I want to believe that the Rivers people already knew what was agreed in the villa. It is of my opinion and perception with the happenings, with what is happening in River State, and building up to the reinstatement of Governor Fubara. I believe that what was discussed at the villa is not far from peaceful resolution of having issue what created the problem. The problem or the issues that led to the suspension of the River State governor and other members of the arms of government, like the legislature, the assembly member, and some other key sector of the state, was purely a disagreement between Governor Sim and his predecessor, Barrister Nyesom Wike, over some alignment, structural alignment and political alignment. And the president's intervention at the villa was, one, to resolve this structural problem, political structural alignment and problem between Barrister Nyesom Wike and Governor Fubara. That is one. Then number two, the conflicts that now advanced and affected the assembly member was also looked at and resolved. Now, what has been happening in River State since his reinstatement as a governor about 18th of this month is that, one, to work more cordially with his godfather, which is Nyesom Wike, and that is going to happen in few weeks to come. You will see more of smooth relationship between the governor and his predecessor, as well as the assembly member.
Well, Patriot Desmond, let's talk about individuals like Tony Cole, who have been heavily critical of Governor Fubara's suspension and his reinstatement, considering the fact that Fubara is in the People's Democratic Party and he has had his own troubles in governing Rivers State. However, Tony Cole contested under the umbrella of the All Progressives Congress and lost in Rivers State. But now he's coming out to, say a lot of things about Governor Fubara. What is your position on individuals like that who have little or no political relevance anymore in the politics of their state, but are quite loud-mouthed when it comes to criticism of people who are doing the job?
Rivers State political environment is a little bit more complicated compared to other places. This is about the first time that a sitting governor was not impeached but suspended because of a conflict that erupted between himself and his predecessor, his godfather. And then you see that a lot of things have happened in the River State that does not really matter. What does not really matter in the sense that somebody does not have political weight or somebody have political weight. You can't say Tonye Ko did not have political weight. If he does not have a political weight, probably we won't be talking about him this morning. If he is anointed by the power that be or the kingmakers in River State, he will become the governor. He will certainly become the governor. River State government or politics is different from every other state. But then throwing jabs or saying some things about the governor is really political. And then, I don't know what happened I don't know the other discussion. That was what I wanted to say before. That there are other discussion that was made in River State, in the villa, that was not open to the people. And I don't think it is necessary for the people to know about. But the point is that some of these people you see now that is coming up, there are those who want to be popular politically or want to take advantage of the situation to serve their own interests. That is what I can say.
Well, Patriot Desmond, interesting insights here. Let's not dwell so much on the issue, but still sticking with River State, let's look at the other controversy in the matter. Now, it's the interim rule that lasted 6 months has left a controversy, what over 5 billion naira in what is claimed to be savings made by the ex-administrator, verification savings claims, and last-minute appointments. You would remember on the day he was stepping aside, there was some mid-level drama of persons saying that they were owed entitlements. Overarchingly, what do you make of this verification claims and the last-minute appointments that are now trailing his exit from office? Petra, okay, yeah.
Last week,
carry on,
we
sir.
were discussing about the reinstatement of the governor, Fubara, and the thanksgiving that was done by the administrator, the sole administrator in River State. Part of my position is that if the people of River State do not deserve anything, they deserve the rights to know exactly what has happened to their money. Because I know that the administrator did not govern River State on nothing. Money was released to the state, and he actually took control of the governance in River State. At the end of the day, I am not expecting to see Thanksgiving, even though some people feel it is nice, it is proper to give gratitude, which I am not against. But what I was keen to see is the fact that you give a proper media, you give a proper account of stewardship to the people of River State, not even to the president, not to the National Assembly, as some quarters demanded. What I expected is that every penny that got into the state was clearly explained how it is utilized. And then on the issue of transmutation as well as last minute appointment, could it also be some of the scripts that is written by past President Governor Inyesom Wike? Because I do not see the necessity or the need in the administrator making some last-minute appointments. To me, it does not make sense. Well, the governor is now fully in charge. The democratically elected governor of Ibas State is back to its seat of power, and then you can make whatever reviews, set up committee. He has the power. He has the power to set up a committee, even a forensic team, to investigate whatever has been spent, whatever has been saved, and whatever has been done in the last 6 months in Rivers State. In short, what we should be talking about today as people and as analysts is that we should charge the governor of Rivers State to do what is needful. The people elected him. His case is different. He is elected by the people of Rivers State. Whether he was helped or not by any godfather or not is not the problem. Whether he was suspended or not is not the problem. The problem now is that he needs to give account of he needs to give transparency and accountability and dividend of democracy to the people of Rivers State. And one of the things that he should do is to set up a committee to investigate. He will set up the committee as the governor of Rivers State. Set up a committee to investigate the parks administrator, so that at the end of the day, the people of Rivers State will have the confidence to re-elect him if time comes as their governor come 2031.
Now, Patriot, let's talk about Ibas rejecting the Assembly's move to probe his 6-month spending. This is as the ex-administrator is insisting that lawmakers lack power to question his tenure, as it was a tenure that was under a state of emergency, and so the spendings cannot be probed by the lawmakers or the State House of Assembly. How true is this in earnest with regards to the comments of the ex-sole administrator?
That's falsehood, and I think it's a little bit misinformation or misunderstanding of the concept of the rule of law, and also what they call balance, check and balances that was enshrined in our constitution as amended in 1999. The National Assembly have the right, because they also, the president on his own, have the power to appoint of the ratification and endorsement or approval of the National Assembly. The National Assembly, therefore, have in their own guiding principles define. The National Assembly have the right to define the tenure of the administrator or the role the administrator will play in Rivers State, which they did. If the sole administrator did not know, he needs to check back. The National Assembly, the upper chamber and the lower chamber of the National Assembly actually gave ratification for his appointment. And a part of the condition or the law, the requirements of law, is that they have the right to come into Rivers State from time to time. They have to set up a committee. They have to set up a committee. There used to be standing committee. Now they have to set up an automatic committee that will have a chairman, that will have the deputy chairman and members, that from time to time will be investigating the spending or the governance of the sole administrator in Rivers State. If that has not been done in the past and they are waiting till the last minute, now that he needs to come and give stewardship to them, it is a law, it is a constitutional right. But for me, I am not inked on that. What I am more interested on is giving stewardship of his account in office to the people of Rivers State more than the National Assembly. And that is what I am expecting. But he is erring for him to say that they do not have the right. The lawmakers have the right to investigate every penny and every law and everything he did in Rivers State. They do have the power as defined by the requirement why they are starting or giving their signatory to the president for his appointment.
Now, Patriot Desmond, on one hand, people are calling on Governor Fubara to divulge the, content or information the discussion he had with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu prior to his reinstatement. And on the other hand, there are calls for the probing of the ex-Sol administration's 6-month tenure in office. Which comes first in the matter of preference in this instance? Because it appears that there is a lot of requests. People are asking for too much, both from Fubara and the ex-administrator.
For you and I know that it may be impossible for the governor to divulge or to make open the content of his resolution with the president between himself and Barrister Nyesom Wike as the press arbitrated or mediated by President Tinubu. He may not or be able to make open what happened at the villa in the course of the resolution, because a lot of discussion would have gone in. This is politics. This is political. There will definitely be some requests and counter requests, some agreements and disagreements, because there was a conflict in the first instance. And what was the cause of the conflict? You cannot resolve the conflict without solving the issues that underlays that led to the conflict in the first place. The issue of structure, the issue of controlling of structure, even the resources. Win and win. It's going. I know the pattern of discussion at the villa will be win and win, facilitated by the president. Okay, what do you want, Wike? He will give his list of it. He will give his request. He will make his request or demands of what he wants from the governor. The governor also will have the opportunity to name what he can accept or what he can grant, some of the requests he can grant. So plus and minus, those are the discussions that happen in the villa. So you don't expect such discussion to come open. But at this material time, I expect that the governor of Ibas State should request from God wisdom and understanding to navigate this situation so that it can still be people's favorite at the end of the day. But on the issue of what should come first in the scale of preference, personally, what should come up now is about probing. Even if you're not going to probe, even if you're not going to use some harsh terms to describe what you want to do and how to give accountability to the people of Rivers State, you should find a way of setting up a committee to understudy the papers and the finances of what has happened in the last 6 months, and give account back to the public, and that will put this matter to rest.
All right, let's still get your take on the situation in Rivers State before we move on to yet another matter of discuss this morning. In terms of the reinstatement of Siminalayi Fubara, what do you see happening in Rivers State? Is this going to be a new dispensation for the people of Rivers State? Are we going to see more development now that everything is calm? Do you see the possibility of a defection to the All Progressives Congress and a possible plug-in of Rivers State to the ruling All Progressives Congress and the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Quite a lot of interesting questions you threw there, Chijuke. A lot of things is going to happen. It is indeed a new era in Rivers State. Era in the sense that at least for the first time, you're going to have a more peaceful, you're going to have a more functional political environment where it's going to be a win-win situation for the politicians in APC and PDP in Rivers State. In Rivers State, in the next 1 year, 2 years, the people is going to be like a merriment for the PDP followers and the APC followers. And why I say so is because don't forget presently that the governor is a PDP member, is still in PDP. The predecessor, the God factor or the godfather factor in Rivers politics is presently one of the most strongest leaders in PDP in Rivers politics. Is you cannot take it from the FCC minister, Barrister Ayesom Wike, who doubles as minister of FCT, the seat of power. And then don't forget is the influence he's going to bring on board, being someone who is loyal, very loyal to President Tinubu, who is in APC. So at the end of the day, whether the governor was asked to remain in PDP or to publicly join APC, at the end of the day, the allegiance or the direction of the state, the person the state is going to pay allegiance to, whether from the PDP or the APC, is going to be the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So at the end of the day, I don't see any party winning any elective position in Rivers State going forward, if it is not the APC, until maybe some conflict erupts between the president and Barrister Ayesom Wike. What you are seeing in Rivers State right now is clear, and that is that APC is winning. Barrister Ayesom Wike is winning, and it's now left for Governor Fubara to play along, and for him also to be a winner in this case.
All right, Petra. Yeah, carry on, please.
And alone, the whole state now have pledged their allegiance to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that is part of the discussion in the inner room at Aso Rock.
all right, Patriot Desmond. We have just about 5 minutes to conclude this segment of Morning Express. However, let's move on to yet another topic. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, we hear, has secured about 13,000 convictions in the war against financial crimes in the country, whether it be internet fraud or whatever it is. How much of a success is this at a time when the EFCC has been accused severally of profiling and nabbing individuals who might not necessarily have committed those crimes but look a certain type of way, stereotypes? I'm talking about that.
Thank you for this very important question, Chijioke. Talking about 13,000 convictions in anti-graft is really a good news. It's really a good news because this is one area that you can test the character of a human being. We are talking about money is involved here. Even in police station where they arrest normal criminals, you understand, when money is related, you see that the cases at the end of the day is killed, not end up having a natural death. The case will not see the light of the day. But for EFCC to be strong enough, even in the face of, the kind of temptation this anti-graft agency goes to in the course of prosecuting any fraud, whether internet fraud or financial fraud, they go to a lot of temptation. They offer them a lot of money, and still, you see that they still maintain their integrity to uphold their values, that they will go ahead to probe and to investigate this financial crime. Now, the only thing I want to say, which is the fact, is that these 13,000 convictions that have been secured by EFCC against internet and other financial frauds, for me, is still selective. That is the hard truth. It is selective in the sense that there are some people in this country that are in high places, that they are caused or that needed to be investigated. We have seen some wealthy people that goes to the party, throws money, and they were not arrested, and nothing was done. We have seen individuals that actually go against the law of the country, the financial law of the country, and they were not apprehended. So why I want to commend the anti-graft agency, the EFCC particularly, for this success story, why I want to celebrate them for this, their answer against financial crime in the country. They need to try as much as possible to work more on trying to nab some of these high-profile individuals that are involved in one form of crime or the other. And that is, until then, that is where we'll be able to have a more success that we are going to speak about on the television. Because some of these smaller crises and some of the people that EFCC have prosecuted, some of them, they are just involved in some small financial crime, although crime is crime. But the big boys of this crime, those who are known for this crime, some of them, they are left to roam about the streets in luxury and all that. So why I want to commend EFCC for this achievement, I think they need to do more in nabbing not all these boys that cut their hair, not all these small boys that that think their hair or have dreadlock or put tattoo.
So basically to stop the profiling and stereotypes.
Yes, and improve in high-profile cases that will bring what they call succor to Nigerian people.
All right, Patriot Desmond, thank you so much. This has been a very engaging discussion with you here on Morning Express. As always, we will wish you the very best of the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, in the studio, and God bless you.